Namaste friends, welcome to YogaCandi. My name's Candace and today we've got Yoga for Happiness, and it's going to be a really good stress-busting, anxiety-busting flow. So all you're going to need today is a couple of yoga blocks if you have them. If you don't, then grab a couple of thick books or something like that. They're not necessary, it's just something you may want during the flow. Okay, so we're going to start off in just a comfortable seat, any seat of your choice. Sit up nice and tall, drawing the navel towards the spine. Take your hands to your knees, or you can just place them gently in your lap, totally up to you. Roll your shoulders up towards the ears on an inhale. Exhale, roll them down the back body. So we're going to do that a few times with our eyes closed. Inhaling, drawing the shoulders to the ears. Exhaling, rolling them down. Really feel those shoulder blades as they meet at the back body. Inhale, draw them up. Exhale, down. Keep going. Take one more. Put a little smile on your face. And go in the opposite direction, inhaling them up to the ears. Exhale, roll them forward. Then draw them back behind. Feel the shoulder blades meeting. Inhaling up, exhaling forward. Keep going. One more. And then become still, roll the shoulders back and down. Eyes still closed. Let's send our left ear over towards the left shoulder and slowly roll the head towards the right shoulder. Just little half circles, don't roll all the way back. Just rolling gently from shoulder to shoulder. You can keep a little mini smile on your face, perhaps just lifting the corners of the mouth. Feeling this out and enjoying every moment of it. Relax the space between the eyebrows. And let's take one more little roll, whichever direction. And then back to center. Let's start to engage a really deep breath. If you understand Ujjayi breath, start to engage that and continue it throughout the practice. If you don't, just keep a nice long deep inhale and an even longer exhale. Perhaps trying to find a soft sea breeze sound at the back of the throat, going towards the Ujjayi breath. Continue with this breath throughout the practice, in and out of the nostrils. Now take your hands to your heart center, bow your head. I thank you for practicing with me. You can open your eyes, we're going to begin. So just change the position of the legs if you're in a cross-legged position. And we're going to start to walk our hands over towards the left side of the mat. Just find any comfort. If it's uncomfortable, just play around with how your legs are. Try to keep both your sit bones on the ground. So we're stretching over towards the left side. Allow your head to hang heavy. You can even draw your head to this left knee and breathe deeply into the right side of the body. On every exhale, lift up through the pelvic bowl. Take one more deep breath. And now very slowly walk your fingers to the center of the mat. Maybe you can take your head down to the ground. And enjoy some nice deep breaths here, lifting up through the pelvic bowl on every exhale. And then walk over towards the right side. And in fact, before you do, cross the legs in an opposite direction once again. And then over to the right. Now make sure you're keeping both your sit bones on the ground. You can release your head down to the floor or down to the right knee. Let's enjoy our 5 deep breaths here. And release, walk them back to the center and come on up. Now we're going to come into our tabletop, hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We're going to externally rotate our hands so they're facing the knees. If you're not sure what external rotation is, then the left hand is going to be turning anti-clockwise, the right hand clockwise. And from here, you can tuck the toes for extra stability. We're going to make some little movements in one direction, some rolls in one direction, just to give these wrists a little release. Stay with the body and the sensations. Allow all thoughts to pass and just enjoy these sensations in the wrists. Maybe you want to put a little smile on your face. Perhaps that's happening naturally because it's feeling really good. And then roll in the opposite direction. You may hear a little click every now and then, and that's okay. Releasing the fascia, releasing all that air between the joints. And then draw the knees together, keep the toes tucked, and start to send your bum towards your heels, walking the hands a bit closer if that's better. Draw the shoulder blades down the body and just enjoy a little stretch at the back of the hands, keeping them facing, the fingertips facing towards the feet. And release the hands, give them a little shake. Let's take our knees back to the width of our hips. And we're going to walk our hands forward, coming down for our puppy pose. This is where a prop may come in handy. You may want to bring your forehead down to a prop, or you may be able to take it all the way down to the mat. Just start to make some movements, just sort of rolling the right shoulder down towards the ground, and then the left. Feeling this pose out. When you find a position that feels lovely, just make sure your knees are underneath the hips. Suck up through the belly, fingertips spread, And take a few deep breaths here. And then come on up. We're going to take our hands back towards the body. Tuck the toes once again, or you can keep them flat against the mat. We're going to take rabbit pose. So now bring the feet together. We're going to grab onto the heels of the feet or onto the arches. And we're going to send the back body up towards the sky, holding onto the feet. So you may find it easier if the feet are tucked, or maybe if they're not tucked. So totally up to you. You're pulling these shoulder blades apart, lifting up through the shoulder blades. Just the crown of the head is on the ground, and you're keeping it nice and soft on the ground. No pressure in the neck. Take a couple more deep breaths. Take one more breath and release. Wonderful. Walk your hands forward. We're coming in for downward facing dog. Hands are shoulder distance apart. Your feet are hip distance apart. Start to walk the legs, just stretching out these hamstrings. You're drawing the navel towards the spine. You're sending the tailbone to the sky. Don't worry if your heels are not touching the ground. This will come with time. You're pushing your shoulder blades apart, so you're trying to get your armpits to look at each other. Allow the neck to hang heavy and look between the legs. And then find some stillness. Take a couple of deep breaths in your down dog. Now lift up through the right leg, only as high as you can get it. Bend the knee, and we're going to take some circles in one direction. You can take really big circles, or you can take really small circles. Just listen to your body. Keep the hips squared with the bottom of the mat, so both hips are pointing downwards. And then rotate in the opposite direction. And release that leg down. Give your dog a little walk. We're going to do the same on the opposite side. Inhale, lift the left leg. Bend the knee. Take some nice circles, big or small. Now rotate in the opposite direction. Take one more and release. Give your dog a walk once again. Now we're going to take a slow walk to the top of the mat. As slow as you can, and at any point if you need to bend the knees, you bend them as much as needed. We're going to hold on to each elbow, and we're just going to hang heavy through the top half of the body. Allow your neck to be really heavy as well. Suck in that belly. And let's just enjoy some lovely breaths here. Now take your left hand to the right ankle, and we're going to inhale, lift up through this right arm. The right arm's going to the sky, so you're taking a twist with the body. Take a deep inhale. Exhale down. Let's take it to the other side. So take the palm of the right hand down to the opposite side of the left foot. Inhaling this left arm to the sky. Opening up through the chest. You can look towards the sky or straight ahead. Bend your legs as much as needed. And then we're going to come out of it. Inhale, halfway lift, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhaling, let's roll our spines vertebrae by vertebrae all the way to standing. Use the power of your legs. And draw your shoulders back and down. Take a moment here with your eyes closed in your mountain pose. Put a little smile on your face. Now inhale, the hands above the head, look at them as they touch. Exhale to the heart, down to the sides of the body and then up to the heart center. Lift up through the left leg, we're going to take a big step back. In for a high lunge, bending through this right leg, keeping the hips squared with the front of the mat. Inhale, the hands to the sky. Look up, keep a nice strong leg in that left leg at the back. And then hands down to this front knee. Just take a moment here. Bounce through the legs. And then very slowly frame this front foot, taking the back knee down to the ground for a low lunge. Stretching out that psoas can just feel so wonderful. So let's just take a moment here. If you need to stay up on the knee, if you don't have the flexibility, that's quite okay. Or you can always use your props to come up onto them. But wherever you are, just enjoy the stretch just for a moment. And then from here, start to bend this right knee and walk the toes behind the left palm. So we're coming down for our pigeon pose. Again, you can always prop your hip up onto your prop. So this right hip can be propped up onto your block or onto a cushion. The more squared off the shin is of the right leg with the front of the mat, the harder this pose and the stretch is going to be. But for now, just stay up on the fingertips or on the palms, just enjoying this lovely stretch of the psoas of the left side and then also of the hip and the inner thigh on the right side. Try to keep the hips squared with the front of the mat. So not one hip is lifting too much, they're both squaring off. Keep the toes of this right foot engaged. So the toes are facing up towards the long edge of the mat. You can always come down to your forearms or all the way down into sleeping pigeon. If you're going all the way to sleeping pigeon, extend the arms and take your forehead down to the ground, or stay up on your palms, or you can even come to the forearms and just rest your head on a block. We're just going to take a couple more breaths wherever you are. On your last breath, start to slowly make your way back up to your pigeon. Plant your palms, lift up through the back leg, step this foot back into a high lunge. We're going to inhale, come up into the high lunge, hands to the sky or to the knee. And then step forward into our mountain, using the power of this right leg to get you there. Don't worry if it takes a few goes to get there. Stand in your mountain, take a couple of deep breaths. Inhale the hands above the head, touch the palms. Exhale all the way to the side body and to the heart center. Lift up through this right knee, step it nice and far back behind you for a high lunge once again. Make your way there, back heel is lifted, front knee is bent at a 90-degree angle. Lift up through the back leg and inhale the hands to the sky. And then bring your hands to the knee. Don't put too much pressure, but we're just going to do a little bounce here. Now frame the front foot, take your time and very slowly take that back knee down to the ground. Remember, you can always come up onto the props with the hands, or you can keep your hands on your knees. Just enjoy the psoas stretch here. On the right side this time, just enjoy and breathe, maybe even close your eyes. Now plant your hands, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to walk the toes of this left leg behind the right hand. Slowly come on down to the bum. You can always prop this left hip up onto a prop. But wherever you are, find some comfort and keep your hips squared with the front of the mat. To start off with, we're all going to stay up on the hands, just feeling this out. Enjoy some nice deep breaths, keeping the toes of this left leg engaged. And then come on down to your forearms, if it's accessible, or even all the way down to your sleeping pigeon. If you're on your forearms, feel free to use a prop and just rest your head down for a moment. All together, let's all enjoy some nice deep breaths here. And then release, remove your prop, make your way back up into a pigeon if you were down on the forearms or in sleeping. And we're going to lift up off the back knee, suck the belly in, and we're going to come back into a high lunge. Make your way there, just move this front foot back into the right position, hips squared, inhaling the hands to the sky, high lunge. Look up. Now with the power of the legs, we're going to step back into our mountain at the top of the mat. Give the legs a little shake and then become still. Back in mountain, take a couple of deep breaths. Exhaling out the mouth this time. Maybe even sigh it out. Now inhale, hands to the sky, look as they touch. Exhale, clasp the hands behind the back, and we're going to start to bend forward from the hips. Now allowing the hands to roll up and over the head, stretching out the shoulders. Bend your knees as much as needed, and enjoy the stretch of the arms and of the hamstrings. Now release the hands, inhale, halfway lift, look up. Now plant the hands, step back into a nice strong plank. Hold your plank, maybe even have a little smile even though it's a tough pose. Exhale all the way down to the belly, draw the elbows close to the body. Inhale, halfway lift into baby cobra or full cobra. And exhale, send your tailbone back towards the heels, knees as wide as the mat, coming down for our wide-legged child's pose, full head down to the ground. Enjoy some breaths here, lifting up through the pelvic bowl on every exhale. Now walk your hands over to the left side of the mat, just stretching out the right. You can even use this left arm to pull the right arm further. And then slowly walk over towards the right side of the mat. Use this right arm to pull the left if it feels good. Resting the head back down. And then back to center. Now make your way back up. Bring your knees together. Take your knees hip distance apart, tuck the toes. Take your props either side of the body if you need them. We're just going to do a little camel pose. If you don't need them, then just take your hands to your heels. We're going to do a bit of a modified version, so it's not going to be the full thing. We're going to inhale, lifting the hips forward, just holding onto the ankles, exhaling down, taking the hips back down to the feet. Take a couple more, inhaling, lifting the hips and the chest to the sky, look up. Exhale, release the bum back down to the feet. Do this really nice and slowly. Inhale, lift the hips to the sky, look up. Exhale, release down nice and slowly. And then make your way into a very comfortable seat, any seat of your choice, or you can even lie on your back. We're just going to take a moment to tune in and to end our practice in a nice mindful way. So whatever it is you're doing, whichever seat you've chosen, make sure you're comfortable. You can even prop your hips up. We're going to sit up tall through the spine, drawing the navel to the spine. Hands on the knees or placed in your lap. Close your eyes. Take a moment here just to breathe totally naturally. Don't control the breath at all. Allow any thoughts that may come into your mind at this moment to totally pass. Pay them no attention. This is all about you. Roll the corners of the mouth slightly upwards into a smile. Enjoy being alive and being in this moment. From here, with the eyes still closed, inhale the palms above the head, touch them above the head, allow the face to follow with the eyes closed. Exhale the hands to your heart center, bow your head. Set a little intention before we open our eyes to continue to take this feeling of warmth and happiness with you throughout the day. If at any moment anxiety or stress kicks back in, just remember to allow those thoughts of negativity, sadness, whatever it may be, remember to allow them to pass and to not control your day or your situation. This mind is yours, this body is yours. Show it love and happiness. Namaste everybody, you can open your eyes. I really hope this practice has brought you some joy for today or for this evening, whatever time of day you chose to do it. If it has, please let me know in the comments how you got on, and also don't forget, giving the video a thumbs up means that you can come back to it. It'll be saved in your liked videos, and you can do it whenever you're feeling a little low or just in need of some TLC. So if you want to find out more about me and what other things that I offer, you can take a look at YogaCandi.com. All the links are below in the description. You can also find me on social media, and you can always use #YogaCandi so I can find you and see how you're getting on in your practice. So until next time everybody, have a wonderful time. Namaste.